Bonjour et bienvenue dans la classe. Today we're going to be going over through your prepositions. Okay. In the last class we revised all the different types of pronoun. Okay, your pronoun relative, personal, emphatic, your pronoun demonstrative, and possessive. Okay, so all these five different types of pronouns we studied in the previous class. Now in this class we're going to be revising preposition. Now there are various lists of and types of prepositions that you need to know in French, but these two are the principal or the base types of prepositions that you need to know. Before we get into this class, let us close our eyes, keep silence, bring ourselves to the silence of our hearts or to the pace of our hearts, calm ourselves down, and thank God for this beautiful day. Whichever religion you might belong to, whichever God you might serve or worship, just thank your God for this day. I invite you to spend this time, just a couple of minutes, thanking God for the blessings He's given you, the graces He's given you every new day, and also for keeping you safe till this day. Also, this moment, I want you to do one more thing. Bring to mind one person you want to pray for, and pray for that person. Also, pray for all those who are unwell and affected by the coronavirus, especially in Goa. And the last thing I want you to do in this prayer is ask God for the help and the strength to study and understand everything that you do, not only in this French class but throughout this day and the week. I make this prayer to Jesus Christ, Lord. Amen. Alright, you may open your eyes, and if you look on the screen in the front of you, you see preposition. Okay, you see preposition. Okay, so this is what you need to learn. Okay, you need to learn this list of prepositions, quelques verbes suivis de preposition. Some verbs that are followed by prepositions are apprendre à, avoir à, commencer à, continuer à. So this is the list of all the verbs. Now what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you the meanings of all these verbs. Okay, so apprendre is to learn. Please write it down. Okay, avoir is to have, commencer is to begin, continuer is to continue. Now you might ask me, what's the meaning of the combination of the two words, apprendre à, avoir à, commencer à. Okay, so what's the meaning of them? Apprendre à is to learn to something, or to learn at something. Learn to something as in to when you get inscribed to a course, or you get you sign up to a course and you sit to do that course. So you are learning to the course in French, apprendre à whatever the course is. Okay, so then avoir à, have to. Avoir à is mostly used. I'll give you this example later as we solve these exercises down below, because all of them cannot literally be explained, in the sense that they do not literally make, in fact most of them don't make sense in English, but you'll understand these prepositions when we utilize them in exercises. Okay, so commencer à, for that matter, means to begin something, to get to work to something. Okay, continuer à again means to continue at some work. Similarly, commencer à also means to begin at something, okay, at a work or something. Demander or dire à quelqu'un, se décider. Okay, demander is to ask, dire à quelqu'un is also to ask someone something. Then se decidera, to decide yourself at something, or to take a decision about something. Obeira, to obey at something, at a command or at a signal or something like that. Okay, resemblera, to resemble to something. Reusira, to succeed at something. Semblera, again, ressembler and sembler. Sembler is more like seem, to seem, seem, seem. Okay, that's something that seems like. But semblera here would mean to seem more like something. Okay, or to not literally to resemble, because resemble would be ressembler, but sembler would be more like to seem like something. Samatra is to put yourself to doing something, and servira is to serve at the table or to serve at something. Okay, then you have the list of list of the prepositions, the verbs that are followed by the. Accompanied, the is the first one, is accompanied by. Most of these mean by. Okay, very few means of, but most of them means by. Avoir envie de, to have hope of. Please write the meanings. To have hope of. Beneficier de, next is beneficier de is to benefit of, or to take to take benefit of something. Cour, couvrir de is to recover from, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about this one, but more or less. Demander the, then followed by infinitive, is to ask of to do something. Okay, or ask of something. Decide the, to decide that. Empêcher the. Empêcher the is don't ask me. It doesn't really come to my mind at the moment. Aside that, to try of, okay, or to put your hands at something, to try of something. Please take note of the verbs that end with the, and the ones that end with a. So be very careful with these. There's one more verb here which is not mentioned, and that is jouer. Jouer, there is jouera and jouer de. And as you already knows, or some of you know this, jouer a is to play a sport. Okay, like jouer au football, jouer au basketball, jouer au tennis. And whereas jouer de is used to play an instrument, like jouer de la guitare, jouer du piano, jouer de la violin. Okay, like that. So next one is entre content de, to be happy with. Okay, or to be happy of doesn't make sense, but to be happy with. Entre curieux de, to be curious of. Entre émerveillé de, to be marveled of. Être triste, did I say entre? Sorry, there's no ENT, it's être, I'm sorry, être. Être triste de, to be sad of, or to be sad about something. Finir de, to be finished with something. Okay, se servir de, to be served by something, or to be served at, not at something, with something. Se souvenir de, to be followed by something. And then you have some exceptionals. Okay, compter sur, to count on someone. Se diriger vers, to be directed towards some place. Please take note proper meanings. Okay, because when these exercises, when these appear for exam, you will have to translate every sentence, and carefully put each preposition in their right places. Okay, so you have to get the right meanings, and please write what I'm giving you. Okay, don't take things for granted. Many a times the meanings might seem like you already know them, and many a times we take it for granted, like, yeah, we know that, yeah, I know this, I'll remember this. No, but it doesn't really happen for exams. So in the face of your exams, you might not really remember all of these things. So please write it down. It becomes double times learning, so that helps you 2 times, so 3 times. So avancer vers is to advance towards something, and remplacer par is to replace by something. Now for your exercise, Janine demande à son mari. See, demande à. See, you have there. Now you might say there is no a here after this demande, but it is there in that line, in that list, because it is followed by a. Maybe they have not put the a there, but if you want, you put the a there. Come on, put the a there. Demande, after demande, put a graph. Okay, it's understood, because the fact that it's in that list, it is followed by a. So mari de, okay, Janine demande à son mari de faire la cuisine. Hmm? Now you might say from where this the fair has come, and why not fair the and something like that. Why you're saying, you might ask me why there's the verb and no preposition after the verb. Why does this preposition come before the verb fair? Well, there are a certain list of verbs like the uh, that are preceded by the, like fair that are preceded by the. What I mean by that is, these verbs are certain verbs in the sense you will guess them. Don't worry, you will guess them if I tell you in what situations this the is used. This the is used usually before infinitives of verbs. Okay, like for example, I have told you to come to my place. De venir chez moi. You see that? Okay, similarly, I have told you to ask for what you want. Okay, de demander pour quelque chose que vous avez choisi ou que vous voulez. Okay, so de demander. Similarly, if you want to say I want, no, if you want to say I want to go out, okay, to go aller, je veux aller. There you don't say je veux de aller. Why? Because you're not saying I want to go out. You don't say like that, right? And the same way, when you want to say I want to do something, je veux, you're already using another verb ver, and then the infinitive comes, then the infinitive form comes. So that's in those cases you do not use the. But when do you use this de, the? It is only when you're using a direct infinitive with your sentence, when there are no two verbs involved. Okay, mostly the infinitive comes when there are two verbs involved. The first one is conjugated, the second one is, it remains in infinitive, that is unconjugated. Okay, but sometimes in the cases when you have you have single verb, and that single verb is not supposed to be conjugated. Why? Because you want the meaning of to the, or to make, or to do. Then in those cases it will have um, it will have just the letter, just the article the de. Okay, but yes, in some cases, there are some cases wherein that the will not appear, pour will appear, pour will come there. Okay, and pour means in order to. So that pour comes where, no, I'll tell you. Pour comes in cases of when we want to say in order to do something, like I'm going to the market in order to get my in order to faire les achats. Okay, so pour faire les achats, you see, je vais au marché pour faire les achats, or I go to the shop to buy a suit, or a coat. Je vais au magasin. Okay, pour acheter. See, I'm saying pour, and then I'm following it by infinitive. So pour acheter un manteau. Okay, let's say un manteau, just a coat. Okay, or un manteau noir. Okay, a black coat. So that is how we use prepositions. Okay, so next one, mon ami ressemble à Ranbir Kapoor. My friend resembles to Ranbir Kapoor, or is very similar to Ranbir Kapoor. Ce couteau sert à couper la viande. This knife has set itself to cutting the meat. What is set? Set is not literally to serve. Okay, servir, set comes from the verb servir, which means to serve, but here in this case it has set itself. Okay, it is like serving only. Like you can literally say this is like the knife has served itself, or put its service to cutting the meat. Like I mean, that literally doesn't make sense, but that's what the French, this translation would translate to. Okay, but because it doesn't make sense, I said it for you as, I give it to you as uh, the knife has set itself to cutting the meat, and even that still sounds funny. Je me sers de ce couteau pour couper la viande. I have set myself to cutting the uh, I have set myself, je me sers, no, de ce couteau. I have set myself to the knife, that is to the knife, pour couper la viande, in order to cut the meat. Now please notice how they've used set a and ser de. Both the cases, both are servir, Okay, and you have you have sir servi the in this line, and you have servi ra on the other side. You see, what do they mean by this? And good they gave you this example, because this is a very important one. It's very tricky. The other ones you might just guess them, but this one is very tricky. So how do you do this? Je me sers de comes from your se servir de, that is to serve yourself by something. So remember one thing, when you get, if you get se servir as a reflexive verb, you have to use the, whereas if you get servir by itself, you have to use ah. Just blindly do that, okay? So I mean, just don't look left and right, just do that. Servir is followed, or is always followed by ah, and servir se servir de is followed, se servir is always followed by the. Okay, so please remember these things. Servir is always followed by a, and se servir is always followed by servir the. Okay, then uh, next one. J'ai des cours à faire ce matin. I have I have des cours, okay, classes à faire ce matin, to do this morning. To do as in to follow or to go for. À faire ce matin. Now you might say, why has the verb come after the preposition here? Why has faire not come before that? Now these are exceptional prepositions which do not follow this, okay? But yet they are prepositions done with a and the. So that is why it is important to know that these are placed before the verb. Now, and what is the condition for this? Let's say j'ai des cours à faire. Now there are certain, now if you see the translation for this, now the translation is very important, because here what we are trying to say is, I have classes to do this morning, or to go for, whatever the translation the sentence is trying to say. Because faire means to make. So already faire means to make. Why do we have to say ah? They could have directly said j'ai des cours faire ce matin. Why do you have to say ah? Well, they have to say ah, because j'ai des cours à faire ce matin, which means I have classes. I have some classes, okay, or some work, some homework, not homework, some classes. Okay, cours is classes, basically, yeah, like your course or classes. J'ai des cours. I have classes to do or to make, okay, this morning. Of course, no, you're not saying to make or to do, you're saying to go for. Okay, now when you say to go for, that implies two prepositions. Okay, that implies two prepositions. That's why to make is replaced by affair. Affair, you're getting what I'm saying, right? That's why that two times there is the word to, that is affair. Affair means to go to, okay, or to to go to. I have classes to go to this morning. That's the actual meaning. You get what I'm saying, right? So in certain cases where when you translate, you get those two adjectives, then you have to put the right one. Okay, like similarly, if you get for example, if you get a verb like a decidir the, okay, like for example, j'ai des cours a decidir de, j'ai let's say j'ai des cours à décider de ce matin. I have classes to decide at. You see that? To decide at this morning. Now instead of classes, you could even say meeting, or I have an office. Okay, to decide at where I'll be going. To decide at this morning. À décider de, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So with that, we are done with this topic. The next thing you got to do is, I want you to solve this exercise today itself, and click pictures of it and send me. Now most of these answers are there in your grammar books, but we will solve them. Okay, we will solve them. I don't even mind giving you the answers at the end of this class, but I want you to solve it first, so I'll attach it in the next video probably. Now that's one thing. I think I need to make a video on solving all the exercises and everything that's behind a textbook. Okay, so we'll do that on a different day. Then I want you to do exploitation, but not right now. Maybe we might take it up another day at another time. Now please follow me into this voix secret voices. Okay, not by Martin Garrix, but this is by Edward Grenier. Okay, so please take note of this voix secret. Secret Voices. This poem that we are going to be doing now here, okay, is your, first of all, it's your second poem. Okay, now what does this poem talk about? This poem is all about uh, your parts and pieces of nature that fall in place perfectly. Okay, they blend perfectly into your nature, into your into your surroundings or in your environment, and how they remind you of how how God has made them. Okay, how they remind you, they talk about certain aspects, okay, their strengths and their weaknesses, and they remind us of how God has made them. Okay, so let's read through this and understand what the author is trying to get across to us. Okay, so la nature conseille et pas tout faire entendre. The nature advises et pas tout faire, and everywhere entendre, one can hear sa voix tendre, its tender voice. The nature, he says, counsels or advises us, and everywhere one can hear its voice, its tender voice, and everywhere one can hear its tender voice. The next line, l'étoile qui rayon au fond du ciel d'azur. L'étoile is the star. Qui rayon, that shines. Please take note, the word qui, which is a pronoun relative, is always followed by a verb. Okay, rayon comes from the verb rayoner. Okay, to shine. So from there, okay, then l'étoile qui rayon au fond du ciel. Au fond du ciel d'azur is that shines at the bottom of the sky. The azure. Azure is a color actually. It's a azure color or something, if I'm not mistaken, in English. In French it's pronounced as azure. Azure, okay. It is a color, it's a goldenish beige color, like not literally beige, but goldenish color. It's one shade of gold actually. You can put it up in Google and Google it out and you'll find the color. Okay, next one, next line, the stars, he says, which is shining in the sky, says d. Okay, sois pure. You need to know these things. Okay, you have to learn these. What do each of these pieces of or parts of nature state, or what do they say? Like the first one says sois pure, be pure, okay, sois pure, be pure. Okay, then the next one, sous les vents déchaînés, sous les vents déchaînés, faible et tremblant, l'arbuste dit. Sous les vents is under the winds, déchaînés is roused winds. Okay, so sous les vents déchaînés is under the very roused and troublesome winds. So, what you can say is very harsh winds. Faible et tremblant, weak and feeble, weak and trembling. Who's weak and trembling? Not the winds. Okay, I'm going to be introducing another character in this sentence, that is l'arbuste. Arbuste is a shrub. L'arbuste is a shrub. So weak and trembling, a little shrub says the sois juste, be just, be just. Okay, so each part of nature is telling us something, some good knowledge or some good what do you call that, advice. Okay, next, l'aigle qui plaint aux cieux sur le nuage errant. Okay, the eagle qui plaint is flies. The eagle that flies aux cieux, in the sky, sur le nuage, on the sky, on the sur le nuage errant, on the wandering clouds. Okay, so what is he saying? Why do they say wandering clouds? I'll come to that part. Now they're talking about the eagle who flies, oh seer, in the sky, the eagle who flies in the sky, sur le nuage errant, on the wandering cloud. Why they say wandering clouds? Because as you know, the clouds are always wandering, in the sense they're moving. The clouds are always moving throughout the day. If you look up now, you might not see clouds because it's raining around, but depends upon what time you're seeing this video. But on a dry day, when there's a clear sky and you look up in the sky, you will see the clouds moving. That's why the poet refers to this line as wandering clouds. Nuage errant, nuage errant. The sois grand, be big. The eagle says be big, sois grand. I'm going to be asking you the meaning of soi at the end of this poem, so please watch out for that as well. Next line. L'abeille qui remplit de miel s'arruche un père. L'abeille is the bee, okay, the honeybee or the bee as you call it, qui remplit de miel, that is filled with honey. As you can see on the screen in my writings and translations there, rempli de miel is filled with honey. Sa rouge un pe makes its way to the straw. Okay, uh, the word sarouche is to make its way towards, okay, to make its way towards, and ampe is towards the straw. Ampe towards the straw. Now this honeybee says l'abbé dit travail, work, okay, work, travail. Next one, l'arbre, the next line, l'arbre qui donne à tous des fruits dans la saison, the tree that gives to all the fruits in the season, dit sois bon, be good, okay, be good. Next one, le saphir dit apprendre que rien n'est méprisable, apprendre que rien n'est méprisable. Le saphir dit, what is saphir? Saphir is just sapphire, okay. Learn que rien n'est méprisable, that nothing is hateful, okay. Méprisable is hateful. Que rien n'est méprisable, rien as you know is nothing, n'est méprisable is not hateful. Basically nothing is not hateful, everything is lovable. Je suis sable, I am sand. You know, no, sapphire is a precious stone, and it's nothing but like sand, okay. So you know the meaning, okay, or you got it. So the next line, la fleur dit, the flower says, un s'ouvrant à l'air pour l'embaumer, la fleur dit, the flower says, un s'ouvrant, as you know, please take note, as we learned last year, ant tells you it is present continuous tense, okay, plural perfect. So un ouvrant, un s'ouvrant tells you in opening itself. La fleur dit, the flower says in opening itself or while opening itself. À l'air pour l'embaumer, while opening itself to the air or to the environment. Pour l'embaumer is to fragrance or to give away fragrance. Sache aimer, to learn to know. Sache aimer. Sache comes from the verb savoir, okay, but this is the subjunctive form of it. So by the way, all of this is not subjunctive, this is your imperative. The yeah, imperative. So sache is from your imperative form. Sache aimer. So learn to love. Did I say learn to know? Sorry, learn to love, okay. It says learn to love. Cancel that word to know, okay. The to know is not required there, it's extra. Okay, the next one, le fleuve dit, the river says, choisis la pente qu'il faut suivre. Le fleuve dit, the river says, le fleuve dit, choisis la pente, choose a slope, la pente qu'il faut suivre, that one must follow. Sache vivre, learn to live, okay. Sache vivre, learn to live. Next one, la feuille tombe et dit, the leaves fall and say. Now see, I've written there on top of that the sound of feuille, you can see that in Devanagari. I've written it there. Please remember, as we learn French, and the reason why I read this, I want you to read along with me as well, wherever in the room you might be studying or reading or watching this video. I want you to read it with me, because a language is not meant to be studied. It's not science or geography or maths or something that you have to study and go for the exam or something. No, a language is meant to be spoken, and right now we are getting the practice of speaking. Of course, we might not be speaking with one another, but we are at least getting the practice of hearing and then reading and then writing it, which we'll be doing in a few minutes or in some time. So that's the reason why we need to listen to hear this language, the pronunciations, and also read with me if possible, as much as possible read with me, okay? Or that's the reason, that's one more reason why I'm reading slow as well, okay? So please pay attention to these lines, okay? Then following up with this, the next is fleuve and river, étoile. Oh wait, I think I missed that line. La feuille tombe et dit, the leaf falls and says, vois, tout doit se flétrir. Vois, see, tout doit se flétrir. Everything must refresh or freshen up. Okay, or not come to an end. No, it's not being very sarcastic in the way of saying everything must come to an end. No, remember, the fallen leaf, the leaf that falls, is saying everything must freshen up. Basically, everything must come back to life, or new things must come back to life. So therefore it says puis mourir, then die. Everything must freshen up and then die. A fleuve and the river, étoile, the star, abeille, the bee, arbre, the tree, fleur, the flower, ensemble, all together, ensemble, all together, okay? The sua om, be manly or be human, okay? Sua om, be manly or be human. Manly means not that kind of be very macho or something like that. They're talking about being very cautious with the environment, or being very aware of where you are and who you are with in the environment, so not to harm the environment. That's what they mean to say, okay? So that's what this poem is all about. Please make a note of Edward Grenier. It's very important, the name of the poet, Edward Grenier. It's very important, okay? So please make a note of his name, and you need to remember his name, okay? His name is Edward Grenier. Now, as for your Quadi, you have, let's go to this vocabulary, okay? Then we'll see about the questions, what we have to do about them. First one is conseil. Conseil is donner un conseil à, to give an advice to, okay? Please take note of conseil à, okay? For your prepositions, your list of prepositions, if it appears, please take note of it. Conseil à, to give advice to someone or to something, someone, of course. Then rayonner is émettre des rayons, to emit the rays. Rayonner is to shine, basically. So the meaning is given here is to emit the rays or some rays. Déchaîner is incontrôlable, contrôlable, so incontrollable. Déchaîner, uncontrollable, controllable. Then l'arbuste is in English, see, it's shrub. Planer, flotter dans l'air, that is to float or to glide in the sky. Planer. Errer is aller ça et là, to go here and there. Errer basically, like, you remember in last year's lesson you had air, the word air, it meant to wander. Who was the person who was wandering? You remember that squirrel and the squirrel and the suri, the petit suri? Someone was wandering in that lesson. Okay. Anyways, leave that for you to check on that next time. Okay, you can refer to the textbook and check who was wandering. Okay, you have the word ERR there, air dans la cuisine. Okay, so he came wandering into the kitchen in that story. So similarly, here's the entire verb errer. Errer is to wander. Aller sa la, okay, to go here and there. Next one, l'abeille. L'abeille is the bee. The bee. Okay, l'abeille is the bee. Next one, la ruche. La ruche is habitation des abeilles. So la ruche is nothing but the beehive. Beehive, okay? The beehive. The next one is le saphir. And as I was telling you earlier, saphir is like in common anglais, c'est sapphire. Okay, it is sapphire. Pierre précieuse, bleu et transparent. So it's a pierre, it's a stone, okay? Precious is precious stone. Bleu, which is blue, and transparent, okay? Next one, méprisable, digne de mépris. As I told you earlier, méprisable is here. Hateful. Okay, hateful. Therefore, méprisable means digne de mépris. To dwell in hate. Méprisable is to dwell in hate. Embaumer. Embaumer is parfumer, reprendre reprendre une odeur agréable. Reprendre une odeur agréable. Embaumer is to basically to embalm something, or to be covered by a fragrance. Okay, so embalm something. La pente. La pente is in as in English, comme en anglais, slope. Okay, la pente, slope. And then se flétrir. Se flétrir is se faner. Perdre sa fraîcheur. So se flétrir is to lose your freshness or to refresh oneself. Se flétrir. So that brings us to the end of our quadir for the vocabulary for the day. The next thing you have is your question answers, which I'll be giving you, not at the moment. So right now you will take your time and solve the grammar that I told you to do, and question answers I will be giving it to you on a separate video. Basically, all the questions of all the lessons in one shot, maybe all displayed. Okay. Then, lisez les phrases suivantes et répondez aux questions. So, read the following questions. Lisez les phrases suivantes et répondez aux questions. Now, this is also very important, and also this one. Yeah, but here I've already solved it. So, this is all important because it could come for exam. Okay, so yeah, that's done. Then you have exploitation, and you have this I'll do with you later. Okay, so we will do this topic. In fact, why do it later? Let's do it right away. Écrivez trois ou quatre phrases sur chaque élément de la nature. So write 3 to 4 sentences. Write 3 to 4 sentences on the star, on the bee, on the leaf, and on the flowers. It's very easy. This is very easy topics. Okay. What I want you to do is write it for. If you do not write it, I will give it to you in a test on Saturday. So either ways, you're anyways going to be answering this. So you prepare for it. Better if you write it and show it to me. Click a picture of it and send it to me. And yeah, I think so. That way you will be able to prepare for it. So page 37, please do exploitation 1 and laissez le taxe donné si. Forget about the date. Okay, the date is when I click the image, not the day when I made the video. So yeah, the time also. That time is 9:16 in the night. So right now it's, let it be, I won't tell you what time it is. Lisez le texte, donnez si dessus et répondez aux questions qui le suivent. So read the text, donnez si dessus. This is not important. This I don't want you to do. I just want you to do the first one. Okay, so please do this one. Okay, do the first one, only the first one. Okay, the first topic. I want you to write 3 to 4 lines. Okay, or sentences, not lines. Trois ou quatre, 3 or 4 sentences on each of these topics, on the star, the bee, the leaves, and the flowers. Say two. That's all. Okay, so that's all for today. These parts of prose and all you don't solve, because I will solve them for you or with you, and we will do it together. Okay, in another video where we'll be doing all the prose, entirely all the prose. Okay, so that's it. Merci beaucoup and bienvenue. No, I mean, yeah, welcome for. Actually, merci beaucoup for everything and for this class, and bonne journée. Au revoir.